Hello and welcome back one and all to the Stadion an der Hafenstraße, playing host to today's first game in a Super Sunday triple header in the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. Essen against Wolfsburg getting the action underway. It is 1-0 to Wolfsburg after the first half, and a change made at the break by head coach Tommy Strauth as he's brought on Rebecca Blomqvist for Vivian Endermann. Endermann, who had a handful of half chances in the first half against her former club, given a respite for the second half. Rebecca Blomqvist back from the knee injury that ruled her out for almost an entire year, slowly starting to make her way back, getting more minutes under her belt, and 45 here today will be precious for the Swedish international. Commanding header there from Zarai Linda. Hagering on the stretch, but keeps possession in the Wolfsburg ranks where they had it for the majority of the first half. The statistics were decidedly lopsided, not quite as one-sided as we had on Friday night when Hoffenheim beat Turbine Potsdam 6-0, with Potsdam not registering a single shot on goal. But so far Essen have only had one, though the difference between them and Turbine Potsdam, there have been many more signs of life from today's host than there were from Turbine Potsdam on Friday evening. They just haven't found the final pass in some of their most promising moments, but that might change in the second half. And at 1-0, this game is not lost. That will have been the most pleasing factor at the end of a first half, which statistically was dominated by Wolfsburg. From Marcus Högner's perspective, that his side were only a goal down at the break. The question is, can they afford to take more risks in this second half and maybe push forward for an equaliser, knowing that that might afford Wolfsburg a few more spaces in behind that they can exploit? Defensively, they've been very disciplined so far, and it shows in the fact that Wolfsburg's only goal of the game came from a corner. However, it's unfortunate that from that one corner, all defensive discipline seemed to be lost in the Essen ranks. Janina Minge, completely unmarked, about 10 yards out from goal. Did well to plant the header on target beyond Sophia Winkler, but the lack of challenge was mightily disappointing from Essen's perspective. They've won it well here from nyzDU. El Matzi finds Paulina Plattner. One of three summer signings in the Essen starting lineup. I mentioned the first two, Vanessa Fürst and Paula Flach in the first half. Paulina Plattner, 18 years old, signed from Frankfurt's reserve side and really has already settled into the big boots that were left to fill by the departure of Katarina Piljic, who joined Bayer Leverkusen. Absolutely tripped up by Lena Latvine. One of the easiest yellow cards that Karolina Wacker will have to produce this season. Not even a hint of a debate about that one. Latvine, she says she's known as a terrier. She takes it as a compliment, shows here. But Purchler did everything right. Shifted the ball to get her body across Latvines. 35 yards out from goal. Just one handy thing about having the remnants of the American football outline on the turf. And get your yardages right. Kowalski, doesn't matter what yardage it is, she will fancy her chances of making something happen. Purchler's on the run, but Kowalski's gonna loft it into the box. Ramona Meyer was attacking, so too Annalena Rieker. Kowalski giving away to Blomqvist, and this might turn into something more promising for Wolfsburg now. She's only got nyzDU ahead of her. Blomqvist finds her Icelandic counterparts, but Vanessa first. Magnificent defending and rewarded with a whistle from the referee there. Admittedly, it felt like it was a fair tussle in the end between the two. Few chance for Alex Popp as she starts her warm-up in the second half. She has called her body a ticking time bomb. One of the reasons that she decided to retire from the international circuit at the end of the next international break. She's going to have a big send-off. 28th of October against Australia in her 145th and last appearance for the German national team. She said it was tearful deliberations that led to the decision that she made with a heavy heart, but said the fire that was kindled 18 years ago is now almost burned out. Berenstein played through by Svenja Hoot. There was a hint of offside about it, and the flag does go up against the Dutch striker. Tommy Straat highlighted the fact that Essen have always been a challenge in recent seasons. And this encounter certainly proving as challenging as the 3-1 win here in the previous campaign. The difference is that Wolfsburg have taken the lead in this game as opposed to Essen. It was around about now that Lily Purchler broke the deadlock for the home side on that occasion, and ultimately it was that goal that seemed to spark Wolfsburg into life in that game. Right now, the opening goal is played into their hands because it really does put the onus on Essen to take a few more risks. And here they come with Kowalski, weaving her way through. Kowalski still going. Kowalski gets the shot off, but unfortunately, it didn't quite match the build-up. Former Wolfsburg reserve player joined Essen back in 2022 when she didn't quite see a path for herself into the Wolfsburg senior side. Someone that has represented Germany at under 15, 16, 17 and under 19 level, and now will do the same at under 23 level as well. You've got to assume that she will be strong candidate to feature in the starting lineup. Games against France on the 24th of October and Italy on the 28th for the under-23 side as Berenstein turns the corner, and yet Annalena Rieker, I don't think she intended to foul Berenstein, but she lost her footing, tripped up Berenstein in the mix as well, and another name goes in to Carolina Vacca's book. Interesting though, Wolfsburg saw Becky Sterner, the Essen captain, at right back pick up an early yellow card. They spent most of the first half then playing down the right wing through Vivian Enderman as opposed to getting nyzDU one-on-one with Sterner as often as possible. knowing that she wouldn't quite be able to make the challenges that she would be able to without the booking. For now, one set piece has already produced one goal for Wolfsburg. Now another. Almost produces another. And this time I actually think Janine Minge prevented the ball going goalwards, but it might have been drifting wide anyway. Hegering. Touch towards goal doesn't work out. Minge now forces the mistake out of Ramona Meyer. Let's take a look at this again. Yeah, it's off the shoulder of Minge. I just think the header, glancing one from Lena Latvine, was probably going wide anyway. Quick throw from Meyer, doesn't work out for Elmatzi. Hendrik now advancing the lines to Wedemeyer, but a pass was cut out there by Paula Flach. Well telegraphed by the Essen left back, who's pushed far forward, is now out of position, but again Wolfsburg with that one goal lead, not playing with the same level of intensity or pace that they maybe would have at 0-0 right now. They are happy to be patient though, given the lack of attacking threat they've faced from this Essen side so far. But they cannot afford to become complacent. They've had plenty of chances. Latvine now with the latest! And to be honest, there was a better chance on had she played through Joelle Wedemeyer. But maybe after not being named in the German national team, a bit of a point to prove for Lena Latvine. nyzDU pocket picked by Plattner. Sterner goes long, but easily dealt with by Janine Minge and Marina Hegering. Minge now will push forward. Quickly curtails the run though to remain part of a three-woman back line, allowing the likes of Joelle Wedemeyer, Sarai Linda to provide more width in more advanced positions. Now it's Marina Hegering picking up the ball in midfield, splitting the lines to Berenstein, through to Latvine. Latvine needed the first time pass to Blomqvist, but given away, and now the chance for nyzDU. Oh! Tried to take it around Sophia Winkler, but credit to the Essen keeper for keeping her cool. That is why she is lauded as one of the most promising young goalkeepers in German football, Sophia Winkler. nyzDU, having praised her for her blistering cameo off the bench, I mean, that is a just poor decision at the vital moment. Chance there for Wolfsburg to punish a rare mistake from Essen at the back. Chance to go 2-0 up, put this game further beyond reach. Because right now, at 1-0, technically there's jeopardy, even if you don't feel it that much, given the fact that it feels like Essen are really struggling to create, as Wedemeyer is going to pick up a booking here for catching Paula Flach. One of the three changes in the Wolfsburg lineup compared to that side that started against Lyon on home soil in midweek. She replaced Lynn Wilms at right back, and Berenstein and nyzDU came into the starting lineup as well. I have to say that's a harsh yellow card for Wedemeyer. Broken free for Berenstein again. She really has been a tricky customer for this Essen side to deal with. She's just had no end product to show for some of her moments of skill. She scored the second against Bayern, coming off the bench against her former side. 4 goals in 6 appearances in the Frauen Bundesliga for Linnet Berenstein, signed from Juventus. Side that lost to Bayern in midweek. Here she is again, trying to make something happen. Blomqvist. Svenja Hoot. Cheap concession of possession there from Wolfsburg, but the favour returned by Essen as Marina Hagering picks the ball up. Trying to overload that right wing right now. Around the corner it goes. Blomqvist, Latviner there. Laura Puks under pressure. Needs support. Clearance only as far as Minga. Lily Purchler asserting herself in the 50-50 challenge. Unfortunately, sold Sterner short with the pass in the foot race with nyzDU, which she was never going to be favoured for. An hour played at the Stadion an der Hafenstraße. Wolfsburg with this narrow lead, but feels like there still might be something in this game for Marcus Herkener's side if they can take the initiative, if they can take the risk and not get punished at the other end. Easier said than done, admittedly, especially against this Wolfsburg side. Essen looking to avoid a fourth straight home defeat at the start of this season, but a reminder that all four opponents have been from the top half of the table from last season. Here's nyzDU. Clipping it in, Berenstein with the flick, and actually the flick prevented Joel Wiedemeyer from getting on the end of it. Brought down by Berenstein, who tried to find her again. Then gives it away to Plattner. Finds Purchler. Haven't seen enough from the young Austrian winger. She's on the run now. Sterner thought about the pass and then thought better of it. Sterner, good header. Rika gains a little purchase in midfield. Berenstein first tries to bully her off the ball unsuccessfully, and now it's broken to Blomqvist. nyzDU is in the middle, Wiedemeyer making a run as well. Blomqvist has done well here to retain possession, still twisting, turning. To the byline goes Blomqvist. nyzDU is there. Winkler with the save. Very difficult to beat from a tight angle, and nyzDU didn't quite get the pace needed on the eventual effort. Somehow Blomqvist bundled her way through in the end. She's looked lively off the bench. Slipped in by Hoop. Latvain attacks. It's there on the second chance. Minger again. Well, Latvain attacked that first opportunity and took out Berenstein. Janina Minger close to bagging a brace. Berenstein just needs to brush herself off after getting taken out by a teammate. Sorry, Linda. She was described as Mrs. Zuverlässig while she was at Hoffenheim. Miss Dependable. Berenstein now sees another half chance go begging. She's not quite as prolific as Eva Pajor. Linnet Berenstein needs more chances to get her goals. Maybe now another. Svenja Hoot goes for the pull back to Lena Latvain. This is good from Wolfsburg, deflected at the last by Vanessa Fürst. Behind for another corner. If the chances are racking up for Berenstein, they're racking up for Latvain as well. Took the touch here to settle herself, did the right thing. Winkler had spotted the corner she was going for, but didn't have to intervene because once again her defence did their job in front of her. And that's going to be the final action of the game for Lena Latvain as she's replaced by Chantal Hagel. Now in her second season with Wolfsburg, having joined from Hoffenheim. Hagel was on the score sheet when these two sides met in Wolfsburg in the 6-0 win during Frauen Bundesliga proceedings. She scored the first of that game. Latvain, of course, was on a yellow card as well, so it was part precautionary measure. Could have gone off with a real bang there had she converted that chance. Weidemeyer bursting through the lines. Berenstein to her left. That was the intended target of her pass. Intention different to execution though. Still, this game is very much being played in the fashion of one-way traffic. Wolfsburg have had the chances to extend their lead. The question is whether they'll even need to today, given Essen's lack of attacking output. But you just never know in the Frauen Bundesliga. This Essen side, with the attacking qualities they do have in that front four of theirs, one chance is all it might take for them to spring a surprise here on home soil. Key factor in that is when will they start to take more risks. Nice layoff from Blomqvist. Hagel. Blomqvist kept the run going. Hagel did try to find her but couldn't. Now Hegering to Hendrich. Neither have been named in the German national team by Christian Wuck. Maybe looking to start a bit of a new era, especially in the defensive back line. Sarai Linda and Janina Minge have gotten the call up as Berenstein sends her header well off target. Change here for the home side. Cassandra Pozzi is being brought on for Paula Flach, and we asked the question of when the risks might be taken. Perhaps an indication here from Marcus Högner as he takes off a left back for Cassandra Pozzi, who is much more comfortable in the front line. Just see that wonderful delivery to Berenstein, but the problem is she got a full header on it when she needed a glancing one. Marina Hegering clatters into Sterner, but wonderful pass to find nyzDU. And that's a first again. Showing off her defensive qualities. Looks like Lily Purchula has been dropped to left back in light of Cassandra Pozzi coming on the pitch. Pozzi's now up front alongside Ramona Meyer. Loretta Almazi on the right wing. Kowalski in behind, but that is certainly the roll of the dice. We were wondering when it would come from Marcus Högner. Pozzi's just 16 years old, lest we forget. Joined the Essen Academy at the age of 10. Made her debut last season in the 3-1 loss against Wolfsburg here at the Stadion an der Hafenstraße. Described by Marcus Högner as a street footballer, but has also called for everyone to give her time, settle into life at the highest level. They believe she belongs. Berenstein wants the early pass from Hood, it doesn't come. Blomqvist looking to work the channels through, it comes to Berenstein instead. Berenstein! She finally gets her goal! As Wolfsburg deservedly double their advantage. Berenstein has had chance after chance after chance. Some missed, some whiffed, now one converted. Wolfsburg with daylight at the Stadion an der Hafenstraße. Neat play from Svenja Hoot in the build-up. Berenstein decided to take on pucks before burying it into the bottom corner. Sophia Winkler and her backline have been stubborn from open play, but finally they're opened up just when they took the risk of making an attacking substitution. Wolfsburg punished them. But that is what a team like Wolfsburg do. That is what a player like Linnet Berenstein does. She moves on to 5 goals for the season. Just rewards as well, as Wolfsburg take the opportunity to make further changes. Alex Popp coming on for Svendis nyzDU. Marina Hegering, meanwhile, replaced by Luca Papp. Berenstein has shifted to the left wing. Popp is in the lone striker role now here with the flick on, looking for Berenstein, who will love to feed off the potential flick-ons that Popp could produce. Fun one as well. 2 substitutes come on, Pat and Pop. And there is Luca Papp, the Hungarian international signed from Ferencváros on the back of winning a 5th league title with the club. Was named the player of the season by the Hungarian FA at the end of the 23-24 campaign. It caught the interest of several big clubs, including Wolfsburg, who ultimately secured her services. Svenja Hoot turned it into a little bit too much trouble there. Pap finds Hoot again, raking pass forward, looking for Chantal Hagel, picked off by Annalena Rika. Hooks finds Vanessa Fürst. It was Tommy Stroot, the Wolfsburg head coach, that talked at the start of this season about losing Dominic Janssen, Lena Oberdorf, Eva Pajor. 3 key players, in his words. Said it's going to take his side time to develop, but thinks that he has a very exciting team and been proven right in that regard. Yes, they've taken their time to find their rhythm, given the turbulence during the summer months of losing such big players. But as Stroot and many of his players pointed out, it's not the first time that Wolfsburg have gone through something like this, and they've proven time and again that they can bounce back, that they do still have title-winning quality in their ranks. Look at the players they've lost over the last couple of years, though. Caroline Graham-Hansen, Pernilla Harder, Fridolina Rolfo, Jill Rord, and then this summer, the trio of Janssen, Oberdorf and Pajor. On top of that, they've got a lot of expiring contracts as well. Merle Frooms, Marina Hegering, Svenja Hoot, Kristen de Man, Alex Pop. It's all part of this aging squad. Linda now, ball in, Berenstein sends it up into the air. Hagel, handball. Hands down by the body for Lauretta Almazy in the eyes of Carolina Vaca. Portsy now will give chase on the counter-attack, and the pressure applied to Minga, who did well to find the ball back to Merle Frooms. Outlet pass to Svenja Hoot, who provides that passing option, as she's done so well today in central position. So many little touches for Svenja Hoot. Her performances sometimes can fly under the radar, but deserves more plaudits for sometimes what is an underrated output. See here again, the shout of a handball. Yeah, it did strike the hand, and actually it was the strike that then made it look worse, because the hand then flashed out away from the body, but the contact was while it was down by it. Lauretta Almazy, unable to add to her first goal of the season, scored last weekend against Turbine Potsdam. Jette Terhorst and Anja Pfluger are on for the closing exchanges, as Almazy and Paulina Plattner make way. Ramona Meyer feeling the after effects of a firm challenge. Dominant from Wolfsburg, you have to say. Essen are tricky customers, as they're looking to be again here. Ramona Meyer turned the corner, pass was certainly overcooked. In the end, it doesn't bounce kindly, and Essen have pushed up here. Left space in behind. Berenstein has the run on Annalena Rieker. Berenstein for her second. Cannot convert. Oh, she did so well there to stay on her feet, didn't it, Berenstein? All the hard work for no rewards at the end of it. Because Rieker was in all sorts of trouble here. I mean, look, she had every right there for me to go to ground and ask for a penalty. You could argue that she deserved the penalty to be rewarded, even though she didn't go to ground. But you can understand why Carolina Vaca didn't pull it back in that regard. And got to say credit to Linnet Berenstein as well for clearly trying to stay on her feet when the invitation was there. The contact was there, and other strikers might have accepted that invite. It made life awkward for Carolina Vaca. Long ball forward does find purchase for Wolfsburg, but they go all the way back now to Luca Papp. Sarai Linda does well to work it in tight spaces down by the sideline there. Now with Janina Minga, scorer of the first goal, looking for the piercing pass. It broke one line but not two. Berenstein applying the press. Heart-in-mouth moment there for Laura Books. Yeah, seeing the handball again. I'll be honest, don't know why. For me, decision made, correct decision. No real debate about it. If anything, as I say, for me, the more convincing penalty shout is actually the one that Linnet Berenstein didn't go to ground for. Given the amount of contact, given the fact that she'd gotten wrong side of Annalena Rieker, she'd beaten her all ends up. Rieker was lucky not to be penalised, and lucky that Berenstein didn't go to ground. Another change for Wolfsburg. The young Norwegian summer signing from SK Brann, Justine Kjelland, coming on at the last hit. There, that one. See, and actually, yeah, there's even a trip in the mix as well. Berenstein, for me, is punished there for her integrity. I mean, let's be honest, this game doesn't need a penalty to be awarded to Wolfsburg with the 2-0 lead already for the She-Wolves. Penalty would not have been decisive in this game either, because right now at 2-0 there is no sign of life for Essen getting back into this game. And now Blomqvist, lovely little turn around the corner, cut back, not quite as good. Two 2-0 win against Bayern last time out. Helped by the early goal. Today the deadlock broken courtesy of a set-piece situation and some poor defending from Essen that they will lament come the end of the 90 minutes, because if they kept it tight at 0-0, it really did feel like anything was possible. Look at their upcoming games after the first international break of the season. Tricky trip to Werder Bremen, who have been as patchy in terms of their form as Essen have been at the start of this season. Games against Leipzig and Freiburg offer the opportunity to collect points. Meanwhile, they close out the Hinrunde, the first half of the season, the first 11 games of the campaign, against none other than Bayern München. Two-time defending champions in action later this evening against Bayer Leverkusen. With a chance to go top of the table once again thanks to Werder Bremen's win against Eintracht Frankfurt. Wolfsburg right now 2-0 up, will be joining Frankfurt at the top of the standings. (16 points from a possible 21. They needed to win by 9 goals today to go above Eintracht Frankfurt in first place. A 2-0 win, not enough. And games ahead, all winnable fixtures from a Wolfsburg perspective after that big win against Bayern München last time out. Hoffenheim and Leverkusen, though, tricky prospects in terms of road trips on match day 9 and match day 11. They just want to keep themselves in the mix, with the results recently blowing the top of the table wide open in the Frauen Bundesliga. Lovely play by Porzi. That's the street footballer in her that Markus Högner, her head coach, talks about. Berenstein will give chase here. Laura Pux sensing danger. Again, acquits herself so well. Porzi. Kowalski now finding Vanessa Fürst. 2-0 down, they got nothing to lose. Can throw everything forward, looking maybe for a consolation effort. Fürst tried to turn, and Alexandra Popp showing off her defensive qualities. Great way for Wolfsburg to go into the first international break of the season. Today, the response to that 2-0 loss to Lyon in midweek, where even though they were on home soil, they certainly weren't the favourites going into that game. Their chances of maybe reaching the knockout stages of the Women's Champions League already hard hit based on the loss to Roma, now followed up by the defeat to Lyon. That being said, Wolfsburg just happy to be back in Europe's Premier Club competition after missing out last season, falling short in the qualifiers against Paris FC. Couple of late changes here for Essen. Rika brought off to be replaced by Julia Dubitsky. Tasha Kowalski replaced by Leni Mia Becker. Chance for Kowalski to get a bit of an ovation from this home side, who will be celebrating her inclusion in the Germany under-23 squad. We'll see it as recognition for the wonderful performance she's been putting in purple. And while Essen haven't had the best of times at the start of this season, Natasha Kowalski certainly has been the highlight, with her influence in games, her attacking output. Free kick comes in, it's off a Essen player and out for a Wolfsburg corner. First goal of this game came from a corner, terribly defended by SGS Essen. Janina Minga popped up unmarked about 10 yards out from goal. Make the same mistake against Alex Popp and Wolfsburg will make it 3 here. Put a bit of gloss on a hard-fought win. Hard-fought, but thoroughly deserved, it has to be said. Oh, it's come through. Chantal Hagel! Oh, big save, Sophia Winkler. She certainly has nothing to be ashamed of today. Celebrating her first call up to the senior national team squad. And today she has conceded twice. She also made some very good saves. Shown off her goalkeeping prowess once again, Sophia Winkler, but more work to be done from this corner. Svenja Hoot in swinger, and Winkler now commanding her area. Every top goalkeeper needs to. 10 clean sheets in 21 appearances last season when Essen were the surprise package. 2 clean sheets already in the current campaign for Sophia Winkler, an academy graduate, signed an extension in July of last year. But it's her brother for her love of football, and said she always puts on her right glove and right shin pad first. Superstitions reign supreme even in the women's game as well. Svenja Hoot tried to find Wedemeyer as we have 3 minutes of time added on at the end of this second half. A 2-0 win sometimes isn't a comfortable one. By all accounts today it has been for Wolfsburg. Mela Forms has had so little to do. Just 2 shots on goal mustered up by SGS Essen. 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half. Mela Forms untroubled. 4th clean sheet of the season for her. A woman who has hung up her international boots. Ultimately, which has opened the door for someone like Sophia Winkler to finally be called up to the German national team. I think Markus Högner, the Essen head coach, will take a lot of positives from the defensive performance his side have put in today. But the glaring omission of attacking threat across the 90 minutes will be something that he can't hide from. That being said, it's not every day or every match day you come up against a side like Wolfsburg. We might get a third here. Well, half Berenstein, half Wedemeyer in the end. Neither got the decisive touch needed. Ramona Meyer, consolation effort maybe for Essen. The ball didn't bounce kindly for anyone in black. Kjelland with the clearance. Blomqvist going to spring the counter-attack, and puts then savvy play from the young 20-year-old centre-back. She's talked about this being a very exciting time in her career. She's certainly catching the eye. One of those players that Essen might struggle to retain the services of. Another game ends with a 2-0 scoreline involving Wolfsburg. They beat Bayern 2-0 last weekend. They lost 2-0 to Lyon in midweek, and now they're back to winning ways by a 2-0 scoreline, courtesy of Janina Minger's first ever goal as a Wolfsburg player. And a tidy finish from Linnet Berenstein in the second half as well. As routine as a 2-0 win can be. Essen never threatened to get on the score sheet. Meanwhile, Wolfsburg probably could have scored more. In the end, it's another 3 points on the book as Wolfsburg move joint top with Eintracht Frankfurt at the Frauen-Bundesliga Summit. Final score, Essen 0, Wolfsburg 2. Well, all the match statistics will underline that this was a very dominant performance from the Frauen-Bundesliga joint record title holders Wolfsburg. Tommy Strauth talked about Essen being a challenge, and they were in many regards in the way they tried to thwart this Wolfsburg side, the way they tried to stifle the undeniable attacking talents that the She-Wolves have. They did so well to limit them to few clear-cut chances. But unfortunately, a setback in the first half after the one moment of poor defending in the first 45 minutes from the home side allowed Janine Minge to pop up unmarked. And then Linnet Berenstein having chipped away and spurned half chance after half chance. She finally got her 5th goal as a Wolfsburg player to put this game beyond doubt at 2-0. And for Wolfsburg, it's a significant victory because it builds on that win against Bayern. It bounces back from the disappointment of defeat against Lyon. And as mentioned, it moves them joint top of the Frauen-Bundesliga on 16 points with Eintracht Frankfurt. But of course, that could still change here on Super Sunday in matchday 7 in Germany's top flight. Freiburg against Leipzig kicks off in just under 10 minutes' time. Later, Leverkusen playing host to the league leaders. But here, a look at the statistics from the game that kicked it all off on Super Sunday. Essen were last season's surprise package in patchy form at the start of this season, taking on a Wolfsburg side that wanted to build on that Bayern win. And my goodness, was this a dominant performance from Tommy Strauth's side. His only complaint will perhaps be that they could have shown more killer instincts in the final third. They could have killed this game off earlier, and they could have scored more goals. But a 2-0 win that is as routine as it comes for the She-Wolves. We move on to 5 wins for the season, bouncing back from what was a disappointing start to the campaign. And a side that ultimately, by many, were written off in the Frauen-Bundesliga title race before it had even begun. Everyone cited the big losses of key players as reason that we might even get a drop-off from Wolfsburg, and those doubters were emboldened at the start of this season. A 3-3 draw against Werder Bremen on match day 1 certainly raised a few red flags, and then the 3-0 loss in Frankfurt on match day 4 almost proved the doubters wrong, or at least that's what they thought. Wolfsburg had other ideas. Write them off at your peril. News of their demise, premature perhaps. 3 wins in a row now in the Frauen-Bundesliga. They beat Leipzig 5-0 on home soil. They beat Bayern 2-0 on home soil, and now a 2-0 win here against Essen at the Stadion an der Hafenstraße. Janine Minge, after giving away a penalty in the 2-0 loss against Lyon in midweek, atoning for that moment to forget with her first goal as a Wolfsburg player. But so easy, because where was the marking? You cannot leave Janine Minge that unmarked in a set-piece situation, because she will pounce, and she did. Wolfsburg carving out a number of chances. Lena Latvine had a couple that were saved by Sophia Winkler. Winkler there to deny the Wolfsburg front line when her back line couldn't. Another impressive performance for the Essen goalkeeper in the same week that she'd been called up to the German national team for the first time. But this is evidence really of the number of half chances that Wolfsburg mustered up. Clear-cut ones were at a premium for the She-Wolves. They kept chipping away. And while there was never really much threat at the other end, the 1-0 scoreline never really looked in much doubt, but you always felt they needed a second goal just to avoid the jeopardy, just to avoid unwanted tension. They had to be patient in getting it. Linnet Berenstein and Lena Latvine were arguably the guiltiest parties in proving wasteful in the final third. And this shot from Latvine that was deflected behind for a corner was her last action of the game. Not named in the German national team, perhaps with a point to prove, couldn't quite do so. But then this was the second goal, the all-important one. Linnet Berenstein cutting inside Laura Pux, burying the ball past Sophia Winkler. And Essen's resistance from open play was finally broken. And Linnet Berenstein finally got her goal at what must have been the 6th, 7th or 8th time of asking. The 5th goal for her in the Frauen-Bundesliga since her return with Wolfsburg. And for the She-Wolves, it's another 2-0 win that moves them joint top of the table for now, but more games to come. With Freiburg in action against Leipzig and Leverkusen, the headline act against Bayern München later. Freiburg against Leipzig, a fascinating fixture to see who can maybe assert themselves and bounce up from mid-table and into the top 4 mix. But of course, Leverkusen against Bayern, a chance for Bayern to move top of the table at the first time of asking after that 2-0 loss to Wolfsburg. Cost them top spots that were stolen by Eintracht Frankfurt. Leverkusen have had a good start to the season themselves. The only team still unbeaten in the Frauen-Bundesliga. Could that change this evening? For now, they're evidence of the fact that Wolfsburg have moved joint top. Goal difference, the only reason that they are still behind Eintracht Frankfurt. The only result that would see Frankfurt stay top of the table would be a draw in the final fixture of matchday 7 between Leverkusen and Bayern. Not outside the realms of possibility, but the door is open for the 2-time defending champions to reclaim top spot. This afternoon, for Wolfsburg, the priority was maintaining momentum, keeping pace at the top of the table. And that is exactly what they've done, courtesy of a 2-0 win here against Essen. James Surrogate, your match commentator. Join us again later this evening for coverage of Leverkusen against Bayern. For now, I'll say goodbye.